a celebration, to have a chance to be with friends, part of our Kuan family, people of integrity, dedicated to the way of awakening that awakens all, blesses all, mutually encouraging one another, because ultimately we're not two. Honoring what is worthy of honor, allowing the sounds of the ancient chants, recitations, mantras, and the sensations as they resonate through the body, and as we bow in gestures of remembering, honoring this deep, innate faculty, capacity to be mindful is remembered, activated. And the sounds that are cleansing, blessing, purifying all the channels of our body and the atmosphere and forms above, below, and all around. Those very sounds also allow the heart to know form, recognize the form, sensation, form of sound, the form of a movement. This embodied, mindful embodied practice stabilizes the citta, centers the body-mind. And when it's combined with a mindful welcoming of breath, that wondrous, sacred remembrance that we're not apart, because this so-called me is continually supported, blessed, nourished by each in-breath that suffuses, permeates, touches, vitalizes every cell in the body. And with each out-breath, we support our family in the plant kingdom. Today we're contemplating the primal principle, the true nature, the unborn, unoriginated, unformed, unmoving, undying, unshakable, undivided, true nature. The practice of Chan, from the Sanskrit dhyana, Pali jhana. The practice of turning the mind directly to ascertain, to touch into, to recognize the ever-present suchness in those ancient sacred phrases, those protection chants, that timeless reminding of the qualities of the triple jewel. We chanted the qualities of this nature. Sandipiko, always. It's always here and now, not somewhere else. Akaliko, not captured in a moment of time when we deserve it. when the alignments are perfect. It's ehi, pasiko, ehi. Ehi is a beautiful word. It means come. It's an open-armed invitation. Mother Nature, the divine, sacred, mother of all manifestation. What the Buddha called the Tathagata Garbha, Garbha's womb, this matrix, primordial matrix that gives birth to the awakened nature, the Tathagata, the such, unmoving suchness that is perfectly interfused with the manifested. The agata, gata, agata, the coming and going all within the suchness. Ehi, come, pasiko, come see, come listen, know this. Opanayiko, this activity, path activity, rather than just following our habits, to begin to add this dimension of contemplation, this silent inquiry, not just automatic following the assumptions of the heart, me, mine, you, yours, good, bad, push that away, get hold of that. The wonderful enlightenment factor of Dhammavichaya, of inquiry, is opened with a curious question. What's happening here? So this true nature is ever present. But the ancients often began their practice of Chan, their practice of turning the mind directly to this true nature with periods of just aligning with the good, periods of holding Kuan Yin's name. Or as the Buddha would say, when I quoted the Mangala Sutra, honoring what is worthy of honor, puja cha pujaniyanang. I always began these intense practices of just turning the mind to what is, with stabilizing ourselves and generating a field of auspiciousness that helps dissolve these, helps put into perspective so that they're not so overwhelmingly dominating these sankharas, chronic worry, dis-ease, becoming of having to get somewhere else. Notice in the bowing, in the recitation, these are all about deepening our capacity to trust the refuge of awareness, of listening, of presence. In the Heart Sutra, form is not different from emptiness. Emptiness is not different from form. Form itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. Every form, the form of these sounds, when we touch it with a reflective heart, a sincere heart, a listening heart, the true nature of sound reveals itself as empty of solidity, empty of who does it belong to? It's here, it's gone. Forms reveal their empty nature. Thoughts reveal their empty nature. The in-breath is naturally emptied. The out-breath appears and is empty. Forms are empty. Gateway into this practice is the classical Vipassana gateway into this. Touching into, recognizing emptiness is the reflection on anicca, changeability. The sights, as our eyes blink and the attention moves and the colors, forms themselves. Flicker, shift, sounds, smells, tastes, sensations. Can we recognize the changing nature of sensations? Perhaps with the pulse of the heartbeat, if one notices. Thoughts, perceptions keep emptying. Forms are empty. That contemplation of change helps us begin to recognize the unmoving, background. Language talks about forms and the emptiness, the spaciousness of heart, the awareness. Language makes it appear like two, doesn't it? Well, there's the manifested, the changing, and then, whoa, what is that? Beautiful presence that's luminous, that remains. But the emptiness, even when the sounds disappear, has the potentiality out of that emptiness, presence. A thought appears. A mood appears. The world appears. The forms are empty, but the emptiness, infinite potentiality for manifesting form. And especially, this is such a key point in the Dharma, the Buddha highlighted, underlined mindfulness of concepts, the cognitive faculty, thinking. But because it's so subtle, if we just start there, it's easy to get lost. It's why the first foundation of mindfulness is the body. But with that stabilizing presence, when we start to notice the changing nature of thought, this is where mantra can be so helpful. Namo hula dana dola ye namo uli or iti piso bhagava arahang. We let the thoughts keep flowing and moving. And savor the silence before and after the thoughts that surrounds the thought. And when the heart is silent, where's the boundary between me, you, here, there, this, that? The recognition of the empty, ephemeral, insubstantial nature of concept and thought. shatters, dissolves the walls of the mind. In the write-up, Tanisha quoted the wonderful phrase from Dogen, enlightenment is the intimacy of all things. Intimacy, no boundary, no separation. Nice to know you, but you stay there, I'm here. Oh, there's a thought. I'm noticing the thought. When one relinquishes, recognizes the ungraspable nature of the thoughts. Gate, gone, gone. Thoughts keep dissolving. Paragate, gone beyond. The more we see change, the more we realize, like that. You've heard me use that image of standing in front of the waterfall. The name waterfall makes it sound substantial, but you can't grab it. Gone, gone. Everything keeps changing. Paragate, where there's the sense of just rest in awe. Then there's no me looking at the waterfall. There's just but sometimes one can still make a preference for that empty, non-grasping feeling. Still put suffering, form, manifestation out there. The form is empty. Let go, but the emptiness is form. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate. Paragate, form is empty. Parasangate, well, emptiness is form. Intimacy. When we let a thought die. That's why the Namo is such an important word. It's the relinquishment of holding to me. It's Namo, I offer. That's why in the Anapanasati Sutta, the fourth tetrad, contemplating change that leads to dispassion, touching into the unmoving cessation, finishing with Patinisaga, just giving back. Just resting in suchness, where there's no separation, being touched all at one time by everything. So in turning the mind, Chan, turning the mind, a sacred word can turn the mind if one just uses, rather than grasping at the word, let each sacred word remind us as it dissolves of the unmoving nature. So I love beginning practice with Bhutto or a sacred word. And then this Huato, this question, helps the heart stay with the attitude of non-grasping, because it turns the awareness to who's listening, who. And if the mind wants an answer, let the mind give an answer, but that answer too dissolves. All the forms are empty. If we want the emptiness not to have anything in it, though, that's aversion. Don't like the sights, don't like the sounds. It's not true emptiness. That's a kind of aversion. True emptiness is not empty because there's the manifestation. But if we grasp onto the manifested, oh, there's my inside, then we want that to exist. And so we lean on that. And then as it changes, because everything changes, it brings suffering. So as Master Wa's quote, true existence doesn't exist because whatever is manifesting keeps dissolving. Therefore, it's called true emptiness. True emptiness isn't empty. Therefore, it's called wonderful existence. These are two names for the same inexpressible, unexpressible. So I love to let a word just touch the heart and then stretch the ease of the heart to be silently with the unexpressible. Making some sounds, speaking out loud as I reflect on this wonderful, unmoving, yet filled with this sparkling, wonderful manifestation, and yet unmoving, tathagata, tathagata. Making sounds to, and in our Kuan insight Dharma, exploration, after we take a little break and Kittisaro will introduce us to it, but there will be a chance today to share. It's not about getting it right. Share one's own process around, experience with, exploration of this, turning the heart to notice what he is. There's a line in the Great Compassion Mantra, Tola, Tola, the chalice hand and I. Tola, Tola. No separation. It's all in the bowl. It's all in the sacred chalice. Sights, sounds, you, me, here, there. We bow into, rest in the trustworthy refuge in the ever-present sacred chalice, holding all. Tola, Tola. Manifest.